All right, so the next thing is Zeek. Zeek is the tool that was originally named Bro, and it was very popular, but the documentation wasn't very good. And now they have made it a commercial tool, renamed it Zeek, and they have written a training tool. So this is really nice. Right here is a running Zeek you can play with without having to install anything. And if you look at it, it just looks like Python. You have this little, you write languages. So here's, when you start Zeek, it will run Zeek init, and when you're done, it will run Zeek done. So this is like the constructor and the destructor, and you can put things in there. And so there's just a whole series of things here. You can practice scripts and then functions. You have you can do math and make functions and have function calls, and you can just learn the basic operators of this language, which is pretty much like Python. And once you learned a little bit of programming, there are then exercises here where they challenge you to do things, and you can upload packet capture files into this running instant of Zeek and analyze them on the fly, like VirusTotal, which is very nice. That's why this is fantastic. You don't have to install anything like that Splunk server we were using before. You can practice and learn how to use it. So there's just a whole bunch of flags that you can, a bunch of challenges here to make points in my system, but this little interactive tutorial is fantastic. You go through these exercises and you reach a point later on where you upload files and it scans through them. So it will find patterns in data. What it does is it creates a bunch of log files. And so here you can install and use it on your Linux system. So you get a Linux system. I used a Google Cloud server as usual. Just download a bunch of stuff and install it and run Zeek. And when you do, it will now automatically, even if you don't configure it at all, it will do some simple things right away. So now if you just ping a few servers and you look, you will find that there's a DNS log file, and it's creating log entries of all the DNS resolutions. And right here you can see the domain names that have been resolved. You can then connect to an HTTP server, and it will create an HTTP log that keeps track of what you're doing. So even in its default configuration, it just keeps sensible logs of the types of traffic that are out there, and you can easily write those scripts to have custom searches for whatever you want. Here's HTTP basic authentication. You can go here. It will detect basic authentication is the old technique where it's sending a password up by base64, scrambling it. And by default, Zeek will not capture passwords because that would be dangerous, but you can go in the configuration file and change this parameter and restart Zeek, and now it will run in the mode where it actually captures passwords from the system. And you can do that, and it'll now capture username and password, and you'll be able to see what passwords it stole from a server. You log into a server, and you can detect SSH brute force attacks with Zeek. To do this, you have to add some code into a file. It's not very much code, just a little bit of code to define the limit, 10 guesses in some time period, I guess the default time period. Then it will put a note in there. So when if you get it, if you do that, then you'll see a flag when it detects a brute force attack. So anyway, that's what you do. This thing is considered the cat's meow. It's everybody is very much into Zeek. It's the new hotness. It's certainly proven its worth. And I really like it when they reach this point of maturity where they actually have a good training tool that works. That's really nice. And this is a very good training tool. It's fun and easy and has hands-on parts. So definitely check this out.